Today's live is really interesting because we're going to be talking about fighting lockdown anxiety with yoga. And this is a beautiful initiative that has been started by Philips and POPxo. It is called Khayal Rakhna. And basically, Khayal Rakhna is all about taking care of yourself and of your loved ones. And it's just, to bring a lot of mental health awareness and well-being to you during the times that we're living in, which is like a really tough time. And I'm just really glad to be hosting this live because I have someone very, very special with me today. I have Nidhi Mohan, and she's going to be talking about how to fight lockdown anxiety during this tough time that we are living in. And through yoga, actually, that is the most interesting part about this live. So, Nidhi Mohan, just to give you a little introduction about her. She's a nutritionist, she's a fitness trainer, and she's an Ashtanga yoga practitioner as well as teacher. She has been teaching yoga throughout the world for the last 5 years, and I think that is brilliant. So I'm just waiting for her to join me over here. And of course, you can ask all your questions right here on this. And there's a question tab. You can definitely go to that. And I'm going to just add Nidhi in 1 second. Is she here? There's some yoga. Hi Nidhi, how are
Hi,
you?
great. How have you been doing?
I have just been doing as well as one can do in a time like this. So, like, I'm very, very excited to have you here. I've been following your Instagram page and I've been trying all of these cool yoga poses that you teach, and I'm really excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for coming here and talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me. And I think um, de-stressing and taking care of your mental health is like need of the hour. And I'm really glad that these conversations are happening. I'm really glad that people are coming forward and exploring these options more. And, rather than just being sad about things, I think we are exploring ourselves more. And I think that's like the biggest giveaway from all of this. Negativity,
Absolutely.
there's a huge positive angle to it as well.
I know, like yin and yang, right? Like if there is a negative, there is a positive. So I'm so happy. So let's like dive right into it. I want to actually begin with this really beautiful phrase that I have read on your page. It is called moving meditation. You call yoga moving meditation. I wanted to understand what you mean by that, considering people find it very difficult to meditate. People, I hear people saying, I find it hard to sit, I find it hard to concentrate. So, like, what do you mean by moving meditation?
Before I get to the moving part, let's just focus on what is meditation. We
Absolutely.
all, a lot of people kind of misunderstand the word meditation with, concentration. So understand that
Yeah.
meditating and concentrating are like two very different things. I'll tell
Okay.
you the difference. The concentration is where you're 100% focused on one thing, and meditation is when you're 100% in the moment. Yeah. So that
Wow.
is one very big difference. So when we talk about meditation, a lot of people think, oh, it's focusing somewhere. It's the focusing somewhere part is a way to teach you to stay where you are in the moment right now. So,
Yeah.
and that's what most meditations also teach you. To not
Yeah.
have emotions about things that are going good, to not have emotions about things that are going wrong. Because when you're
Yeah.
neutral, you can stay
Hmm.
in the moment, you can stay sane, and
Absolutely.
that's the idea. Now, why is yoga called moving meditation? Is that if
Yeah.
anyone has ever attended a yoga class, they would know that there is, your teacher is telling you too many things to do. You are in a posture, you're supposed
Yeah.
to squeeze a certain muscles, you're supposed to relax a certain muscles, you're supposed to breathe a
Breathing.
certain, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one posture you're breathing, one posture you're breathing out. So
Yeah.
when your mind is busy doing all the breath work, all the muscle work,
Absolutely.
you
Hmm.
are exactly where you are. You miss one moment, your thought goes haywire for one moment off the mat, and that's it. Your meditation is
Yeah.
off. So
Yeah.
that
True.
is one reason why we call yoga as a moving meditation, because while you're doing your practice, you're in the moment. And if you're not, and if you're in a class, then, the teacher can point out who's not in the class mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I agree because I have attended so many yoga classes, and if I even kind of try to zone out in that moment, I will miss something, like for sure. Especially Ashtanga classes, like they call it power
Yeah.
yoga in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But it's so like it. You're right about the being in that very moment part, and I'm so glad that you're sharing this because I recognize that when you're trying to meditate, when you're trying to just sit and like focus, it doesn't happen that easily. On the contrary, in a yoga class, there it feels like everything kind of fits. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you will see that people who have been practicing yoga for a very long time, or who do it every single day, they see a change in the way of thinking, their behavior also.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're calmer, and
Absolutely.
they handle the ups and downs of life with a very
Yeah.
different attitude vis-a-vis, somebody who's just in the yang all the time. There is no yin
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, absolutely. By that, of course, you mean like equal and opposite reactions, right? Like
Yeah.
something like that. It cannot be
Yeah.
all good and it cannot be all bad.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
like, with that in mind, I just wanted to talk about how, with the pandemic and so many people succumbing and general atmosphere around us, there's so much fear, there's so much stress, there's so much anxiety, and at the same time, we're, working from home, we are trying to do all our housework, and all of that has become like a mess in our heads. So, coming to the point of this whole entire live session, like how do we look after ourselves? This whole campaign is called Khayal Rakhna, but we don't really know कि ख्याल रखना कैसे है. So I think you would be like a fantastic person to tell us about that.
Well, I think the first thing one needs to understand that self-care is not being selfish. So, you have to
So
budget out.
important.
Yeah, taking care of yourself is not being selfish. Taking time out is not being selfish. So,
Hmm.
in whatever situation and whatever capacity, you can take out time for yourself. And I don't mean you need to step out of the house. I'm saying take out time for yourself from what you do
Absolutely.
every day, from your routine, probably from the family members. Have a corner to yourself where you probably sit and, do, I'm not going to say meditation if that doesn't work well with you.
Yeah.
Even having a cup of tea in your balcony early morning, without phones, without distractions, being
Yeah.
present in the moment. And I mean, again, it can be as simple as even having a meal where you don't have any distraction around and you are enjoying every bite and you're
Yeah.
actually consuming it and you are in the moment. Not when the TV is on, not when you're on
Yeah.
your phone, not when you're
I was
talking to
gonna say.
someone. Yeah.
I was gonna say exactly the same thing. Yeah.
So these are a few things that you can put in your daily practice without actually taking out a separate uh, hour or time for yourself. So I think that
Yeah.
is very important, knowing that you do need time with your thoughts. You do need um, time where your eyeballs are resting, or you're not bombarded with more information, because
Absolutely.
I think one of the very big reasons is that we have increase our screen times a lot, and there's no other way to communicate with the world, but
True.
the whole reduce our screen time thing has been thrown away, and now we have
Mhm.
no idea literally how many hours we're spending because you're moving constantly from one screen to the other. So now
Yeah.
you definitely need some time where you don't have a screen in front of you and you're in the
Yeah.
moment and you're probably enjoying your senses, and that could
Yeah.
be just
Yeah.
having a meal also.
Wow. So like where does yoga fit in all of this? Like how does yoga help one combat the anxiety aspect of our lives these days? I mean, not just the pandemic, outside of it also, the screen time will always be the consistent factor, right? So, like, how does yoga help?
Um, Contrary to the common belief that yoga is, when I say the word yoga, what comes to your mind is usually a person doing an asana practice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Somebody who's fit and who's, who does very fancy asanas, turns around, goes
Yeah.
upside down, does all of those things.
Handstand and
Yeah, yeah,
headstand
yeah,
and all those.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the, no, I'm not saying that that is all not yoga, but that's a very small portion and a very small part of what this practice is. If I
Absolutely.
really talk about what yoga is, it's actually a spiritual practice that has a
Mm-hmm.
physical angle to it. So when we say yoga, it has to be like a part of your lifestyle. It has guidelines about how you should live your life, starting from what food
Yeah.
you should eat and how you should
Yeah.
behave, and should you be lying to people or
Yeah.
should you be stealing. All of this is written, by the way.
Absolutely.
But what it really says is that, like, the literal meaning of yoga is your connection to divine.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the literal meaning of yoga. So how do you
Yeah.
connect with divine? Your body is also a channel from which you connect to divine.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
through the physical practice, what you really witness is that, you surprise yourself as you go on practicing. आपको लगता है कि ये
Sure.
तो कभी मुझसे होना नहीं है, but you end up doing it, and then you realize
That's
how
true.
strong you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you realize how strong you are. Then you realize
Hmm.
how resilient your body is.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the act of just breathing and being able to
Yeah.
hear your own heartbeat is, like, it's an act of being alive, which we
Yeah.
forget on a day in, day out basis.
Yeah, like recently I was reading something and it said how many times you actually remember that you're breathing. Like your body is doing the work, but how many times are you actually aware?
Yeah.
It's so like I'm so happy, and this beautiful thing that you said, that yoga actually means your connection to the divine. Not really like, oh, I can do a handstand, then I'm a good
Yeah.
yoga practitioner. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So
So
understand there's a difference between yoga and acrobatics. Yoga
yeah,
is
I know, right? Like
It's you
yeah,
versus you and your own body versus understanding of what's going on inside you. So
yeah,
it's got nothing to do with how it's looking to someone else, because that's not what it is. It's your own
yeah,
very own personal journey. It's,
yeah.
how you look at yourself, how you feel while you're doing it, and what you are sensing within yourself, in your body and your five senses.
Hmm.
So,
So actually, I have a question here that talks about, hi ma'am, tell some yogasanas or pranayam to get rid of fear. So I think we can talk about how maybe you can teach us some pranayams or something we can do to help get rid of anxiety, stress, fear, and like anything to deal with the time that we're in.
so stress is also like a byproduct of fear. So
Hmm.
yeah, there can be pranayams that can really calm you down, and you can use any of these probably later in the day if you don't sleep well, or if you're too anxious, then these are helpful. Now, pranayams also, there are pranayams that are supposed to be done in the morning, which kind of accelerate your um, metabolism. They make your heart go faster. But
Okay.
if you're anxious, or if you're already stressed and you do those things, then your heart rate
Yeah.
goes even faster. So they can be,
Yeah.
uh, it could do the reverse. So you don't want that. So you want to be doing pranayams that have a cooling effect on you. There are a few that you can do. If you want to practice with me, I can teach you one,
I,
which is,
I would love to practice with you. Like, so we should do something that should be done in the evening, like right
yes,
now.
let's do something that can be done in the evening. So one
Okay.
pranayam that is called the Brahmari pranayam has,
Oh.
it is about shutting down your five senses. That's like symbolized by, you use your five fingers to shut down your five senses. So
Oh
let's just
wow.
take our hands in front of us like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one thing, remember that inhale, exhale has to happen from the nose. You don't have to use your mouth to breathe. Then
Okay.
secondly, use the full diaphragm to breathe. So when you breathe in,
Hmm.
you let the stomach go out, and when you breathe out, you let the belly button go towards the spine, and you take out all the air you can from the chest, from the abdomen. So really use your diaphragm to push all the breath out. So remember these, and then put your hands out like this, and then we will use our fingers like so. So the thumb goes on the flap of the ear. You see this part of the ear? So you're gonna put your thumb here, right? So when you practice, you're gonna press it down so you don't hear anything, right? Then your index finger goes onto the temples. Your middle finger goes next to the eyes. You will keep your eyes shut when we start. Then your ring finger goes next to the nose, and your pinkies goes next to the lips, right? So this is where we are. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press the flaps of the ear down, inhale completely, and on an exhalation, we're gonna make a humming sound and press the ears down. And really use your diaphragm to push out. Let's do it one more time. So inhaling, exhaling, and whenever you feel ready, gently open your eyes.
Wow. So I have tried this before, I'm not gonna lie, but I did not know the placement of the hands, like properly. So actually the description, the fact that you said that all five senses kind of shut during this time, I actually did feel it like so strongly. I do have a question though.
Yeah, we just did it twice, for it to be effective. At least do it like 10 times. And then you see after the 10th time, you'll be like a little slow, which is what you want. You will just suddenly feel that there's a relief.
Calm down.
So, But when you press the temple down, you press the flaps of your eyes, you press down everything, and then you press onto your ears, and then make that buzzing sound. That kind of echo is very relaxing to the brain, and you will have an amazing sleep after that.
I actually have a question. So, I am pressing each point, and I press the ear in the end, right?
Yeah, because I wanted you to hear me out.
No,
you can press the ear down in the beginning also. I just wanted everyone to hear me out, because if you press down and then you can't hear me, then you're like, oh, what is happening?
So somebody's asking, can you tell the placement of the fingers again? I think let's just like revise one.
Yeah, sure. So you press the thumb down onto the flap. So if you press it down, you'll see that suddenly you can't hear much. So really press it inside. Then your index finger goes on to the temple, right where you have that vein that kind of pops out when you're angry. So just press it down here. Your middle finger goes next to the eyes. Your ring finger goes next to the nose, and your pinky goes next to the lips. So you really have to press it down here. Yeah.
Awesome. And I have another question, small question. So I stop humming when I'm out of breath. That's the logic, right?
Yeah.
So I inhale, and as I exhale, I have to hum.
You have to hum and use first whatever is in your chest. And then when you feel that you have no air left, then you use your abdominal muscles to pull in the belly button towards the spine. So when you pull the belly button towards the spine, you will feel that there's some extra breath there. Now this is something, probably you heard me longer than you probably were like, oh, I'm out of breath, but she's still humming. Because when you keep doing pranayam, your inhale exhalations become longer, and you kind of tend to use the full capacity. That's the idea. And
so your lung capacity also increases. Is that
you learn how to use the full lung capacity.
Understood.
It's already,
is there any other?
It's already good in most people, but we don't consciously know how to use the maximum.
Absolutely. So is there any other, maybe like a beginner yogasan that we should know about, that we can practice maybe every day to kind of help us with our stress levels, or like fear, like somebody asked, and stuff like that. So is there a
Okay, so
basic yoga thing we can try?
yeah, we can surely try. Just to give you the idea of what you can use for fear, because that's a very specific question you asked there.
Yeah, yeah.
Any heart openers, any
Hmm.
postures where your thoracic opens and you roll your
Yeah,
shoulders back and you take that your chest out towards the
sure.
sky, those will be good if you are in a fearful situation, because they kind of make you they kind of open up your heart, and when your heart is
Okay.
open, you cannot have fear. So
Wow.
all of
Hmm.
those back bends would be really beneficial if you are
Okay.
looking at, if fear is what's like the most overwhelming emotion for you, try to do a lot of back bends. Very
Back
basic,
then. Okay.
yeah, very basic example of back bends can be a bridge pose. I'll just show it to you. Then,
Sure.
if you feel safe, you can try camel pose. That is also,
Oh,
it's not very basic, but I'd say that it is still, good. And if that's not
hmm.
possible, we can try very basic cobra, baby cobra. We can start with baby cobra and, graduate to
Yeah.
a cobra pose. Yeah.
Up. Yeah. Got it. Got it.
Yeah. And
Please
otherwise,
show one.
yeah, okay. Okay, so gonna just see if I can
Yeah. Yeah. For
adjust the
sure.
mat
For
in a
sure.
way that you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Our audience, whoever is watching, can actually try this
You
with
can.
Nidhi if you need to. So let's give it a go. I'm not gonna try. I don't have enough space
Okay.
in my surroundings. Yeah.
Okay, no worries at all. So the first
Sure.
posture we're gonna try, I think I need to just move it a little bit up. Yeah. Okay, so the first posture we will
Sure.
try out is child's pose. It's not for fear, but it's
Yeah.
definitely for a day that you're extremely tired or extremely anxious and you need
Sure.
to like calm down. You can try out
Yeah.
child's pose. And this is again, I'm a huge fan of using as many props as you want. So if you are a
Oh.
beginner and
Yeah.
yeah, because if you are a beginner, probably just sitting like this is painful because your quadriceps are too tight, it won't happen. So don't worry. It's completely fine. Nobody reaches like that level day one. And again, I said yoga is a journey, which is you versus you inside your own body. So take all the help you need. So if
Absolutely.
um I love to use props. So when you are anxious or you're sleeping at the end of the day and you need to like try out a pose, you should try out child's pose. I'm keeping a meditation pillow in front of me. You can keep a regular one as well. So sit in a position
Okay. Okay.
with your knee on your knees. You can open
Okay.
up the knees if you want to, because it's even more relaxing. And what I'm
Sure.
gonna do is
Sure.
I'm gonna try to come down. So don't be in a rush to be like, take your time to kind of come down, walk forward, just
Yeah.
ease yourself, try to move your hips from one side to the other. Just try to find some space in your back, and you will, once you try it out, you will realize that there are spaces in your spine that you can explore while you're getting into a posture, and just get into a comfortable posture. If you can put your chin down, put your chin down. If you can put your head down, just put your head down. And if
Understood.
this is harder, you can keep as many pillows in front of you as you want, and just set a timer on your phone or your watch for like three
Absolutely.
minutes. Stay
Okay.
there,
Wonderful.
yeah, yeah. Stay there for at least 3 minutes and then gently come out of it.
Okay.
And I said,
Wonderful.
yeah. And you said about postures if you're fearful. So a very, very basic, simple posture if you're fearful and you never tried a back bend is to go into a cobra pose. Now, cobra
Sure.
can be a little intimidating for a person who's never done it before. So I'm just gonna move a little bit
Yeah.
back. So we
Yeah.
can try to do a baby cobra. So what do you do is
Sure.
you put your feet together. Your
Okay.
toes are not like this. You're gonna have pointed
One.
toes. You're gonna
Hmm.
press down the feet actively into the mat. Walk your hands forward. Come onto your elbows. And in this position, don't be like this. Now from here,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll my shoulder blades together, lengthen the
Yeah.
spine, and try to
Yeah.
gaze up. Now again, this is a
Absolutely.
very comfortable posture to be
Hmm.
in,
Hmm.
and you can stay here also for 3 minutes. As you get comfortable, what you can do is you can bring your hands down under
Yeah.
your shoulders and then come into a proper Bhujangasana, right?
Okay.
This is one posture
Wow.
that you can try. And another posture that I'll quickly show, but I won't get into details because it's a little harder. So you can go
Sure.
into a camel posture. Now, if
Yeah.
this is too hard and you feel that I'm intimidated going back, what you can do is you can start with your feet curled in at the back.
Sure.
catch your toes, or you can even keep blocks here if you have yoga blocks.
Okay.
And what you can do is, if you're here, it's okay, don't worry. Just keep pushing your hips forward, opening your chest. And that's a safer way to do it, A, yourself, and B, get confident about it rather than, going back and trying to find where the foot is.
Understood.
So, yeah, I
So,
hope it
like you
helps.
said, 3 minutes for is there a specific 3 minutes for the child's pose? Is there a specific time you should do the Bhujangasana or like half cobra or of course the camel pose?
No, I just said 3 minutes because when you're holding postures longer, I mean, now there is a way of doing the same posture in a yin way and in a yang way, right? So a yang way is where, you're engaging everything and you're in it for like 5 breaths, but you're like really active. And then, you switch to the next one. That's kind of yang part of the yoga. But if you want, towards the end of the day, you wanted to do a yin stretch where you are exploring your passive flexibility,
Wow.
then you should hold it for like 3 minutes. And if we had to do the same posture for restorative yoga, where I have more time, I can do the same posture for up to 20 minutes also. But you could do it in restorative yoga, we do every posture for 20 minutes, but there the use of props is much more. So there are too many pillows to support you. It's not like the idea is not that you should be in pain. So I would say that use as many props, as much help as you can, to make yourself comfortable in the postures.
Wonderful. I think we're just like almost done with the time.
If there
Maybe
are
we
questions that you want to take up, yeah.
Yeah, I think there is this one question that someone has asked. Please tell yoga for 7-year kids for their concentration due to pandemic, they are getting irritated. Which is, I feel, very important because kids are stuck at home. They are not going to go to school or to play I mean, it's such a hard life for them. So maybe we can explore that.
I think an excellent workout, full body workout, as I would like to call it, is to let them do Surya Namaskar. It is whatever style you choose, Hatha, Ashtanga, you can choose any of them, whatever feels best. That is because they tend to use the whole body, and then, like I said, moving meditation. A child's mind is like they have lesser. What do you say? The retention time is pretty less.
Attention span.
Yeah. So the attention span is like very less. So they're not going to retain whatever you're trying. So if you tell a child to stay in a posture for 10 breaths or 3 minutes, it's not going to happen. But if you give them half a breath here, half a breath there, repeat it again and again, they will do a better job. So I think, and again, the concentration part doesn't, it's going to come with time, because the first day they will do it, they probably will make 10 mistakes, and the next day they'll be better and better and better. And then they will get to a point where they get the breath right, they get the movement right. But then they will be in a space where their mind would be like, oh, next step, this one, that one. So I think that's beneficial.
I think we'll just take one more. Can we perform yogas during menstrual cycle?
Of course you can. In fact, there are a few postures that if you are like one of those people who have like heavy cramps and too much flow, then there are postures which can really help ease out the flow as well. So do explore that. And there is loads of information available. But if you don't want it quickly, I can tell you that a bounded butterfly is a good pose. So just in a butterfly posture and a bound one. And even something that looks like a middle split with a forward bend, it's amazing.
I think it has been a great live session with you today, Nidhi. I'm really so glad that you told us so many interesting things, and just like having you, being in your presence has been really great for me, and I'm sure for our audiences also. Thank you so much. I'd like you to give some.
That's super kind
Please give some closing remarks.
I think I'd request everyone that wherever they are, they should uh, move their bodies a little bit,
Absolutely.
take self-care as a priority because you have to. वही है कि आप अपना ख्याल नहीं रखोगे तो कौन रखेगा? ख्याल तो रखना ही पड़ेगा अपना. And don't think that this is something that is very selfish. It is utmost essential, especially in these times. So yeah, that's all I'd like to say. That just take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Everybody watching, please look after yourselves and look after your loved ones because that is what this entire kind of campaign is about. And thank you for joining us. And I think it's a bye and have a good weekend, everyone. Have a good weekend, Nidhi.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye bye.
Bye.